We often hear about the joys of having a new baby, but what about the tough stuff? The stuff that no one prepares you for or talks about. Those things that people shy away from or try not to talk about so that we can all forget about it. Today, I want to talk about something that is really important, but that is often swept under the rug, and that is the challenges of postpartum. Hi, my name is Randy, and I am a wife and a stay-at-home mom to a 3-year-old and a 5-month-old. If this is your first time stopping by my channel, hi, welcome. And if this is not your first time, welcome back. Some of it will be TMI, so just so you know, and some of it will be something that I wish someone told me when I was going through it. And if you find this video useful, please make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more motherhood content and some other stuff. One of the biggest misconceptions about postpartum is that you're only recovering from childbirth and that you'll feel better in a few weeks. But the truth is that postpartum is so much more than that. It's physical, it's emotional, it's mental, and it's a journey that could take months or even years. We're told that after having a baby, we'll instantly feel this overwhelming sense of joy and connection. But what if we don't? What if we feel anxious and scared and overwhelmed instead? As a mom who is only 5 months postpartum, struggling with postpartum depression, I not only look at my body and feel so much distance between me and her, I constantly find myself feeling guilty, ashamed, or even annoyed at myself or others for what would seem like no particular reason. But after being diagnosed, I realized that it was the depression and it wasn't me. I find myself feeling guilty that all the laundry is not done and that it's not folded and put together and put away, or that my toddler is having frozen pizza for the 3rd time this week, even though it's at his own request. Or I find myself ashamed that there are toys all over the house, even though, newsflash, we have kids. But something that honestly, truly shocked me as a postpartum mom is that postpartum depression is serious. I found myself being angry at myself a lot. For instance, a couple times that I had to drive places with the baby, I once forgot his blanket. And you would think, okay, well, you forgot the blanket, oh well. But the way that my brain interpreted that was that I was worthless, that I was stupid, that I couldn't get anything right. Literally, those were thoughts that were going through my head. And I'm here to tell you that these are postpartum depression thoughts, and that, one, you should seek help from either your OBGYN, or you should talk to a counselor, or you should talk to your partner or your support system. Because no, you're not dumb. No, you are not worthless. And no, you're not stupid. You just gave birth and you have a chemical imbalance in your brain. And I'm here to tell you that there are so many other women that go through it and never talk about it. We're often told to focus on the baby and that the baby comes first. Sleep when the baby sleeps. I swear to God, if I hear that one more time. Another thing is, as a breastfeeding mother, I was not expecting to feel the way that I felt. I breastfed my first son for 14 months, so a year and 2 months. So with him, I didn't experience too much of it. I do still remember that I was feeling a little overtouched at some times, but I was also supplementing with formula. Now, fast forward to my second son, I was struggling a lot more physically. I was feeling overtouched, overwhelmed, overstimulated. I was irritated very easily. I would sometimes spend about 6 hours in bed with the baby and not speak to anyone just because of how overstimulated I was. For the first 3 months of my second son being born, I was exclusively breastfeeding, and that was a lot. I was breastfeeding and pumping, actually, and it was just a lot. My nipples were raw and sore, and I was trying different things Let me know in the comments if you're going through that right now, because my heart goes out to you. I was contemplating not being here anymore. I was just so tired. I just felt like just so irritated. This was the moment that I was supposed to spend loving and doting on my son, and I couldn't even focus on that because of how I was feeling mentally and physically. I was physically in pain. I had issues with bowel movements, and I was using creams, and I was, I was drinking all the teas and water to help down there. And you're going through this in a diaper, you're changing diapers, you're the sole provider for this baby. And so yes, you're going to feel irritated. And I know this all sounds horrible, but I like I said, this is a true and raw postpartum talk, because if we normalize it, then it won't feel as lonely as it felt. For me, at least, it reminded me that I was good with 2 kids, that we're not trying for a third. But on a serious note, those moments, those feelings, I wish to never go back to them, because I don't want to remember the first months of my baby's life as the worst months of mine. But if you are going through it right now, just know that there is a bright side. There is a moment where you wake up and you don't wish to not be here. There is a moment where you can have a full conversation with your loved ones without being irritated that they are around you. You will have moments where you look at yourself in the mirror and you're not bleeding from places that you shouldn't be bleeding from, because that is something that happens. I was cut different places because how much my baby was needing to eat, which is something that not many women who breastfeed talk about enough. I always heard about cracked nipples, and I had it the first time around just once, and this time around it was for 2 weeks. I was okay, and 2 weeks I wasn't. And anytime I would go to the bathroom, I needed a whole bunch of supplies because my body was still healing. And it's tough, to say the least. I wish more women talked about that part. That first month of no sleep, yes, we know about it, but it's not just no sleep. It's no sleep while breastfeeding or taking care of a baby. You don't have to be breastfeeding. You're still waking up 3-4 times per night. It's weeks of changing your own diaper and checking your sutures if you have some, and your body getting back together. And I'm 5 months postpartum and I'm still struggling. I'm still getting my body back together. Just now getting into the gym because I had to do 2 months of physical therapy because my abdominal wall decided to say goodbye to each other and my abs separated. And I always thought that this only happened when you have twins or if you have an injury. And no, I just had big babies and it happened to me. And now I'm in my postpartum recovery. Last time it took me 2 years. Who knows how long it's going to take me now. So if you are in this moment, give yourself some grace, give yourself hope, give yourself some love. And if you know someone who just gave birth and is going through their 4th trimester, love on them because they need it. Love on them because they might not be loving on themselves, and take care of them so that they can take care of the baby. We have to talk about our needs. We have to be truthful about how our body feels. I know for me, after pushing out 2 big turkeys from down there, both time I had secondary tears, which required sutures, which meant that I wasn't supposed to be lifting pretty much anything heavier than my baby, which again, I was, which is what many postpartum moms do. And then we're surprised that we're not healing fast enough or that we are required to have physical therapy postpartum. This is something that we don't talk about often. The number of women that I saw in my physical therapy sessions that are postpartum because they had either prolapse or they had no feeling down there, or they tore so much that they had to relearn how to walk. There's just so many things that happen postpartum that we are unaware of and that aren't talked about enough. Something that we should talk about more is our own healing. We should talk about what a mother needs to feel comfortable, to feel like all she needs to do is take care of the baby. We're also led to believe that as long as we have a good support system, we have a good village, then we will be fine. And I'm here to tell you that that couldn't be further from the truth. I had a whole team caring for me and the baby after giving birth to my second son. I had my mother, I had my sister, I had my best friend, I had her husband, who, by the way, moved from North Carolina to Illinois to help us take care of our kids. And of course, I had my husband. But we need to acknowledge that postpartum is hard no matter the circumstances. They say each pregnancy is different, and that's correct. With my first pregnancy, I ended up having anemia. So I needed to get iron infusions for like a week long, or like 10 different infusions. I also gained twice the amount of weight that I was required or supposed to be gaining. So postpartum was not fun. It took me almost 2 years to recover from my first pregnancy. What I mean by that is physical recovery. For my abs to rejoin because they had torn, and for my pelvic floor to be strong again so that I could carry to term. With my second pregnancy, something that surprised me was the postpartum depression, that I always thought that people just had postpartum blues and they didn't have the right system, the right support system. But again, like I said, it couldn't be furthest from the truth, because the way that our body reacts to these hormones trying to get back to reality, trying to get back to us, is so different for each pregnancy, for each person. And we have to talk about that. I was pregnant alongside, I believe, 5 other of my friends, and out of all of us, I'm the only one who is not back to her pre-baby weight. And sometimes I look around and I feel like I failed myself, and I know that I'm not the only one feeling this way. I know that this is not something that we talk about often, especially with social media. We show the 1 week postpartum, this lady posting her 1 week postpartum, and I'm like, I'm 5 months postpartum and I don't even look like that. And so that's one of the reasons why I wanted to film this video, because we don't talk about it. We don't talk about the moms that don't bounce back. Or at least we don't talk about it enough. I shouldn't say that we don't talk about it, because I have seen it more this time around of my pregnancy. But for me, between recovering from pushing 2 humans that are 8+ pounds out of my body, the diastasis recti, the pelvic floor recovery, and physical therapy for months that I had to go through, and the mental imbalances that I'm going through, postpartum has been very hard, to say the least. I believe that we should be honest about the anxiety and the fear. For those who have to go back to work, just that anxiety of leaving your child with someone who is not yourself and missing on the milestones that our kids go through. Let's talk about that. Let's talk more about the realities of being a mom, and not just being this perfect person that does no wrong and that has all their stuff together. We need to talk about the real postpartum life, the diaper wearing, odor smelling, boob leaking postpartum, the bleeding, the crying, the hurting. It's all part of life. It's all normal, but it doesn't feel that way unless we talk about it. I just want moms that are watching this, or parents that are watching this, that you're not alone. Postpartum does not have to be this shameful secret. It's not always rainbows and butterflies. It can be a time of growth, of learning, of connection. It can be a time of saying, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing my best. It can be a time of saying, I need help, and that's okay too. The most important insight that I can give you about postpartum is that we need each other. We need to be truthful, and we need to have support systems that are lifting us up rather than tearing us down. Postpartum is real, it's hard, it can feel lonely, at times, and all of those feelings are valid. And I want us to remember the joyful moments, but also the hard moments, because that is what will make it worth it. It's about acknowledging our struggles and seeking help if we need it. I am thankful to my gynecologist for believing in me and for supporting me and for relating to me and sharing with me that she had to go through the same thing as me. Postpartum is about being real with yourself and making sure that you are your best self for that newborn baby or babies. God bless. I want to hear from your experience. Please share in the comments. Share your own struggles and your triumphs, because like I said, I'm 5 months postpartum and I'm still here. I'm still fighting. I am feeling better, and some days do still feel, I do still feel that anger, that anxiety building up, but I know that that's just my body reacting to its new environment. And if you're looking for more content on parenting or postpartum, be sure to check out more of my videos that are coming up. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Mwah.
Hi, Mommy.
Hi, my love.
Hi.
Did you have a good nap?
Yes.
Did you have fun at the trampoline park?
Yes.
Yes. That's awesome. I love you.
I
Do you need help?